Hey everybody, my name is Michaela and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you like what you see, please click the subscribe button below. So, 2020, it is done, complete, finito, and over. So that's really exciting. I feel like the beginning of 2020 feels like it was about 20 years ago. It's really interesting to go through my camera roll, my phone, and see all the memories at the beginning of the year because it just feels so long ago. But it went by really fast at the same time. But what a year. And I can't say that this was the worst year of my life. It's actually had a lot of good. But I find that with every year, there's always a mix of good and a mix of bad, no matter what year it is. This year was really challenging, but rewarding. A lot of good things happened. Some not so great things happened, but just like I said, I find that's the same with every year. And looking forward to the new one and trying not to have expectations too high or be unrealistic about what's actually possible. So I have 2 videos planned for you, and when these are actually released, I don't know. I'm filming this on December 31st, so New Year's Eve. So I was thinking about doing like a get ready with me. We can chit chat, maybe talk about some of my favorite products this year that I've found, or maybe some old favorites. And then I wanted to do a second video kind of talking about, not kind of, but showing you my favorite products of 2020, like things that I've bought, things that I've thrifted. So I think that'll be really fun. But whether that's actually made in 2020 or 2021, like when it's actually posted, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, and I'm just gonna get started with some makeup, some New Year's. I haven't done anything really creative in a while. I kind of like, my goal is to always like make myself look like myself. I try to make it like look nice and polished, but nothing too crazy. But I thought I would try something today a little bit out of my comfort zone as far as like glam makeup looks. I saw something on Instagram that really inspired me, so I'm gonna give it a try. Could turn out really bad, it could turn out really good, but either way, you're along for the ride. So let's get started. So I'm just gonna go through my makeup here, and just so you know, I misplaced or possibly threw out my standing mirror, so I'm gonna be using my iPad today as a mirror. Actually, that was a really good find in 2020. My boyfriend and I have been looking forever for an iPad for myself, but we're both very thrifty, so he's always on like the buy and sells, like looking for things, and he ended up finding one that was the same version as his. It was like the iPad 6. Okay, it was the iPad 6, and we found it for $150, so pretty stoked on that. So that was definitely one of my favorite things about 2020. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the eyes today. Everyone always has a different opinion about what you should do first when it comes to your looks. Some people prefer to do the eyes first and then the face. I tend to do the face first and then the eyes, but because this one's a bit more dramatic and there's going to be darker shades involved, I am going to start with the eyes just because I think it's going to be a lot easier. And typically what I've learned and what I prefer is doing one vocal point. So I'll do like a really dramatic eye, but a really simple lip, or a really dramatic lip and a really simple eye. But you're free to do what you want and go hard. There's no judgment here, and you deserve to pamper yourself and look however you want after the year of 2020. Okay. I'm gonna stop rambling and gonna get started. Just gonna put a little lip balm on. This is a classic. The Ballistics has SPF 20. It just feels so nice. But yeah, just get those moisturized before we get started. Okay, so for eye primer, I actually don't have one handy at the moment, but that's okay. one of my favorite concealers that I found this year, which is super cheap. It's the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer Finish. This one's in light ivory, but I also have a second shade, which is not present, but that's okay. It's a little bit darker, just more of an orange tone to help cancel out darker eyes. I'm just gonna use this on my eyes today. So this just helps smooth the surface of your eyelid. Actually, maybe I'll just use the camera here and then you're gonna be able to get a close-up of what I'm doing anyway, but I may refer to my iPad later. And all my my face is cleansed. I'm actually wearing vitamin C on my skin today, the suspension by The Ordinary. So just gonna put that on my eyelid, not a ton, but just enough to make it look like my skin tone. I use a combination of the ring finger and the middle finger. Ring finger is the one that has the least amount of pressure out of all of your fingers. It's the more delicate one, so I just find that this one always gives it a really nice finish. I hope you're loving the ambulance in the background. It's like birds around here. But I hope everyone's safe. I don't mean to make light of anything. But so the other eye, bring that up a bit. Oh, I just interchanged between the both of them. Wow, I was like, wow, that went on a lot darker than it was supposed to. So yeah, I just found the other one. The other one I'm using is medium peach. See, I have two different shades on my hand, see? So things are going. I'm actually quite tired right now. Been dealing with a lot of nightmares for the past couple months, which is kind of new. Like for me, I typically never really had any problems sleeping before. Like as soon as my head hits the pillow, I've always fallen asleep pretty quickly, but I had about like 6 different nightmares last night, so it just really threw me off and threw off what I wanted to get done today a little bit earlier, but that's okay. Okay. So maybe I'll show a picture here of what the look was. So it was so unique. This woman is just so stunningly beautiful. And I haven't done anything because like I have hooded eyes, so it's a bit difficult to create an eyelid. Like you can see it, but it's not really like back there with my eyeball socket, you know what I mean? So I have to create that effect, and I am going to use my iPad for this part here. We'll try to. So it was kind of like an interesting cat eye concept. So everybody's different. Everyone has different eyelids. So I would just start with the lower lash line in line right here. And I think I'm just gonna make a little line here. Yeah, and so I'm gonna create using a pencil first. I'm gonna go follow along the top here. So I'm not gonna put it right into the crease, but just maybe a touch higher. And let's just see how that goes. Because like I said, this could go really good or really bad. But challenge accepted. This might not actually be as sharp as I would like it, so I'm just gonna pull my lid a little bit with my pinky. Okay, yeah, that works. So hard to do this at the same time. to a sterling start. Of course, I would try to pick the most complicated look to use while I'm talking about 2020. That's 2020 in a nutshell. Right there, right? Okay, and so I'm gonna create, maybe I'll just pull that out a little bit. Don't worry guys, this is gonna get better. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a little blending brush here. This one I got from an Ipsy box last year, which I love these brushes. They just perfectly fit into my eyelid shape. That's one of the big things. I learned this from Samantha Ravendall, is finding eyeshadow brushes that actually suit your eye shape, because if they're too big, you're not going to get the effect that you want. So that one's really helpful, and these brushes have been amazing for that. I have a very old, and yes, this is expired, but don't judge me. This is a NARS palette that I got when I worked at Sephora, and like, it was so expensive and I wanted it so bad. And I think I've only used it 2 or 3 times, but it's the Arabian Nights. It's a little bit broken, but still pretty intact. And look at, there's me. It's like these really dark, shiny colors, and they're just beautiful. So I'm actually gonna use that along the black line that I've created. That's mildly terrifying. And I actually found a little mirror, so I'll just work with that right now. Okay, so I'm going to just trace that over the line. Like so. Looks better already, even though it needs to be blended. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of snacks were had this year, and I don't really have any regrets. I don't know if you've ever been, I haven't been, but my boyfriend has, to Dank Mart. It's this amazing convenience store on Main Street, and has all these different kinds of snacks that you wouldn't even expect. I think he found them there. But carrot cake Oreo cookies are my new best friend. They're so delicious. So maybe in the comments below, you can let me know what your favorite snack of the year is, or was. I'm definitely gonna do my best to eat a bit healthier in the new year, or just eating in general. I actually, with anxiety and depression, it's really hard for me to get me motivated to do that stuff, but it's actually getting better, and I've been getting inspired lately, so that's definitely a good sign. So that part is done. I'm gonna blend it in a little bit more with an actual blending brush. Let's try out, this one is so old. It's an old Morphe brush, but it's the only one I got right now. I actually don't have a lot of my brushes here present because they are so visibly unattractive and need to be clean. So I'm just making do with what I have right now. It's so funny. I really need to practice what I preach. So just going in with that buffing brush and creating, so I'm like focusing on keeping the crease dark, but working my way out. So shading, gradient like so, pushing that out. So I'm creating the shadow of an eyelid. And honestly, when in doubt, just blend. I believe that you can't blend too much. You can blend it till it doesn't look good anymore, or like you need to reapply, but dimension is key, but keep in mind, I haven't done this in a long time and I don't do crazy looks that often. So this is definitely not my day-to-day go-to. It's just fun for special occasions. I think we're just gonna go for dinner tonight and I'll probably be sleeping before the ball drops. And that's been kind of my thing. I remember my girlfriend Danielle and I went for New Year's at a really nice place in 2020. We danced our butts off and then the ball dropped and we left 15 minutes later and went to bed, and it was the best. But honestly, I don't even think I've danced in public since, which is really depressing. Hopefully there'll be some changes and exceptions, like obviously legally, but as far as like music festivals go and concerts and things like that, really want to go dancing in 2021. I find, I don't know what I find. I can't think of what I was gonna say. But yeah, actually, and to be honest, I kind of make a dance floor wherever I go. If I hear Britney Spears or NSYNC or anybody that is really rad from the 90s, I usually break out in a song and dance in public anyway at any given time. But yeah, dancing my butt off at a rave or something, or any music festival would be much appreciated, because honestly, you just feel like the weight of the world is lifted off your shoulders when that happens. Even when you don't think you're stressed out and then you go there and you dance your butt off, you're like, you just feel lighter and like a new person. And like I'm able to do that without alcohol, which is interesting. I didn't think that was possible. I used to drink to like deal with anxiety in social situations, but now can do it without, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. You know what? I think I'm just gonna start on the rest of my face and just see how things go, because I think I got like the worst of it done, like for this effect. So, I was watching my video the other day of the full face makeup. I don't even know who that girl is anymore. Like, it's so interesting with makeup. You can have all these amazing staples and tricks and tips, but honestly, I'm trying new stuff all the time. This is a translucent powder by Hourglass. Samantha Ravendall recommended it. And I love it. Can't remember what other brand I was using before, but this one's just really nice. So I'm putting this on before I put on my foundation and other things. And in that video, I actually did my concealer after my foundation, which I was kind of kicking myself for, but I'm gonna be actually putting it on before my foundation. I'm gonna use the lighter shade, the light ivory with e.l.f. One of the things that I've learned that I really like is actually letting this set for a couple minutes, especially if it's like really red. You want to make sure that your skin is prepped properly beforehand, so any dryness is nice and hydrated, or exfoliating as well, so there's not dry, flaky skin, but a gentle exfoliation. You should only be doing that once or twice a week, depending on your skin type. But letting this set for a couple minutes, if possible, makes all the difference in longevity and long wear during the day. We'll put a little bit right here. So I'm just gonna leave that. I don't really know what to work on while this sets. Maybe I'll just start focusing on contouring my neck a bit. This is gonna be a little bit all over the place, but that's okay. So Fenty Beauty. This one is Macchiato Cheeks Out in the Freestyle Cream Bronzer. I've heard such good things about it. I don't know if I'm just not doing it right, but I find that it doesn't stay. Like, I find that it doesn't stay all day. I find that it fades really quickly, so there must be something I'm doing wrong. Maybe it just doesn't work for my skin. I don't know. But I'm just going to... I don't think it's the right shade either, but that's okay. I'm gonna work with what I got. I'm not going to go buy a new one right now, because that would be silly. Or I could exchange it with Sephora's amazing exchange policy, but I just don't have the energy right now. Okay. You know what? I think that's not enough. I'm just gonna go in and apply foundation. So this one is Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. I love it. I got a perfect color match, but I find it's like a touch too peach right now. But when I got it matched, it worked perfectly in the 180W. So as you may notice, anything with an applicator, I'm putting on my hand first, or you can use a palette and then apply it to your skin. I do this to prevent cross-contamination or causing more breakouts. That's how I learned it professionally in school and at Sephora as well. But I kind of stopped doing it for a long time. But then my skin was so bad and I couldn't figure out why. But since I've made some changes, which you'll notice in one of my videos that I posted earlier this year, and a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. And it's a really nice, like, it's concealing, but it's not super mattifying. You're still able to see your skin show through. So I do a mix of going side to side and up and down, again, pressing it into the skin. I don't like to use a ton of this stuff anymore. 33 now, so I am noticing more fine lines on my face. It's getting better. Had a hard time with it at first, but I can't wear as much makeup as I used to, and to be honest, I'm okay with that because I find that the less I use, the nicer it looks. And just taking better care of my skin now really helps with makeup application and just my overall mental health. Once I wash my face, moisturize, or apply any serums of any issues I might be having that day, just feels a lot easier to take on the world, you know? I'm just gonna do a double check. All right, I'm happy with that. Probably one of the highlights for sure of 2020 was getting Teddy. He's the sweetest boy. He's just walking over here right now. Oh no, now he's walking away. But we adopted him. And he's such a sweetie, so affectionate. And I really wanted another cat for my other cat, Meredith, who I adopted about 3 years ago. She's wonderful. She's just a bit anxious, so I just thought it'd be nice for her to have a little buddy. And Teddy is the biggest sweetie. I'm so happy I have him. He's made such a big difference and brings a lot of joy. Hopefully one day you'll get to meet him in person. And he's just jumping onto the bed right now. Okay, so losing my train of thought here. What am I gonna do next? All right, well, I'm just gonna go in with light ivory. And I'm gonna put that under my eye like so. Oh, see, I just keep breaking my own rules here. Well, at least that didn't have pimples on it, but I'm gonna reapply to my hand. And a little bit right there. Pushing that up, so using a brush after this will clean that area up really nice. And do there, a little bit down here. I don't know, my skin's doing pretty good today. I'm happy. Okay. I would normally use my beauty blender in this situation, but it is filthy right now. The nice thing about using concealer that's a touch lighter than your natural skin tone, or maybe this is a pretty good match because I'm pretty pale, or fair, I mean, this assists in making your highlighter pop out more as well. And what I find, what I've been doing lately and leaning towards, which I really like, is going from light to dark on my cheeks and contour. So I'll actually start with the highlight, then the blush, and then the bronzer, like when I'm blending. Just find that it's a little bit more seamless. And this brush is my ride or die. I swear to God, it's my favorite brush of all time. And I have like more expensive brushes, but this one's by Real Techniques. I use it for everything. Just works so well. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of that setting powder under my eyes. Maybe I'll use an actual, just gonna use that blending brush again. Oh, maybe I shouldn't use that because that's dark on it. I think I was new to this. I'm just gonna tap that right under here. So this is just gonna help prevent creasing and set it and help longevity. This is just an old eco tool. I think you can get these at the dollar store, but they work really well. They do the trick. So starting with cream products, I'm gonna use Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Again, now I'm putting it on my wrist. And going to use this brush, another recommendation by Samantha Ravendall. This one is the e.l.f. brush. You can't find it. It's not discontinued, but being remade in some way. You need a little bit more here. So highlighter's on my wrist. The rest of my hand is covered with foundation and concealer. And so going to dot that on and bring that in a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna go for a crazy look. I'm just not like that anymore. I think I might strive for like an Adele or Lana kind of vibe today. Just a classic. Still have a headache, so I just kind of want to take it easy. And stuff is nice because you can mix it in with your foundation and put it just about anywhere. And put a little bit, well, well, it's my nose, whatever, just easier. And trying to find a different brush here. This one's good. Another Real Techniques brush. Might be a bit too much product there, so I'll get that in a second. But I'll add a little bit right there. I can't wait to get my brows redone. I've had them done by Francesca Bruni, who's in Toronto, and obviously it's impossible to travel right now. It's been about 2 years, which is crazy. I would love to get them redone, hopefully in the new year. They are a bit faded, obviously, but I still am a big fan of the shape. I wasn't great with wearing SPF for the first year. Now I'm a lot better, but that definitely enhanced the fading. And then I tend to get carried away when I get eyebrow pimples, so I do have some patches. But that has nothing to do with the quality of work. It's just my own lifestyle, I guess you could call it, but I'm not ashamed to talk about it, so it's all good. So the highlight is done. I'm gonna go in with cream blush now. This one's by Fenty again, the cream blush in Rose Latte. Again, I don't find that this lasts long on me, but trying to figure it out. So one of the really cool tricks I learned from Genevieve, I forget her last name, but on YouTube, she's one of the new favorites that I found this year. I've always watched Samantha Ravindal, and that was basically about it. But she was talking about making things go up more, because like I don't really have like a really defined cheekbone, like everything just kind of goes straight. So just playing with that and bringing things up more as opposed to like down or across, it just creates more of a lifting effect. But Genevieve and Jamie French are definitely some new favorites. Bailey Sarian. Those are the only ones I can think of at the top of my head, but been really fun to watch and learn new things from. I love Samantha, and I just wanted to branch out a little bit more. And I'm glad I did. And then going in with a bronzer. I'm gonna suck in a little bit. But again, so that's where my cheekbone is. So I'm gonna go right into that crevice. I typically like to start at the front and just kind of predict where it's gonna go. I don't do it right to here, but maybe just diagonal from here, I guess, would be the best. And bringing that up. And kind of making like a small 3 effect. Learned that from Samantha as well. In my videos, I'm going to do my best to give references to where I learned stuff. I don't know. I just feel like it's polite. Even though it's a collective experience, I just feel like if I learn something, I shouldn't claim that I thought of it. But I'll let you know about things that I've invented or thought of. I'd say that's more so with brows. And there's a couple other little tricks that I learned that I'm excited to share. So, see? I'm already looking a little slimmer in the face. Just bringing that across the forehead. This is a very nice brush. It's a long video today. I don't even feel like I'm close to being done. That's okay. You signed up for this. Okay, and I'm gonna bring that back down again just to reapply, create that under the chin. And going in with powder products now. So just repeating the same sequence. So I hope I have the highlighter that I really like right now. This one was the most affordable version when I was doing Halloween shopping for makeup. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome by Face Studio. I got the one in rose gold. I have the white iridescent one as well, but I just found this one suited my skin tone better. So I'm going in with a contour brush and tapping that off. Making sure I'm pressing into that, tapping it off. I don't know, I play with different techniques all the time, so you can use any brush you like. This is just the one that I'm kind of going towards right now. I've been liking it. So just bringing the bronzer, highlighter, and blush into the eye just to create some more softness. So whenever you're using a cream product, you should set it with a powder, or don't, but it helps with a higher impact, more polished, and longevity. Unless you walk in the rain, then there's really nothing you can do about it. I'm just going to bring that onto my nose. My nose is very shiny today. And a little bit, I forgot to put the liquid on the Cupid's bow, which is fine. I find that when I wear it, I break out in this spot. There's nothing worse than a zit right here. Okay, and going to use that blush again. Not going to worry too much about what it looks like because I'm going to blend everything after. This one, probably not the right shade, but that's okay. Sweet Cheeks and Matte Citrine Rose by NYX. And then for the bronzer, I'm going to use Hoola, which is a classic. And then going like so, blending it out. Just gonna check that out in the mirror here. Finally finished my business plan. Rough draft. I know I've been kind of saying, oh yeah, it's being submitted this day and that day, but one of the biggest lessons I learned in 2020, business-wise and in life, is not to overpromise and underdeliver. I need to be realistic about what I can and can't do, and I shouldn't tell others. So like inevitability to disappoint them. It's not lying, but I'm pushing myself too hard to meet expectations that no one's even set for me, just for myself and what I feel is right. So I got that done. I got 2 yoga certifications this year, which I'm really proud of because last year at this time I was just getting out of treatment. and I set this goal when I was in treatment. I wanted to become a yoga instructor and do 12-step recovery-based yoga. Sorry, I just got a message there. And I did it, which is really cool. Things got sidetracked a bit, obviously, with COVID, but it all worked out. And now I'm going to be working for a new app called Esvedra Wellness. I'm going to be teaching on Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings, so if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. For my brows, I'm going to start with a refining pencil by L'Oreal. I'm going to brush out some existing hairs right now and kind of get rid of some of the product that's already in my brows right now. But even doing like a review of all the different things I've done business-wise this year, it's been pretty wild. It's a lot of twists and turns, and that's to be expected. I've had this business idea for 5 years, and this year I connected with Small Business BC. I've been working with them since the beginning of the year. I've had to change business advisors, COVID. I did business seminars. Once COVID happened, I had to think of different ideas. So it's definitely been a journey. So I definitely have a lot of respect for anyone that's actually opened their doors, because it's really hard. But I'm really happy about having the rough draft finally done. So I'm just doing an outline of my brows. And my brow techniques change every day. So I'm always doing something different. But this is just what I've been leaning more towards lately. So outlining them first, and then instead of, like, everyone's always saying to, like, it's definitely great to do individual hairs, but I've been kind of going with the pattern of my microblading, or even just in general, if you don't have microblading, just to make little side sweeps. So, like, I'll show you here, going with that line to shade in. You might not want to do your eyebrows like this. This is just what I'm doing right now, and I like it. So you can try it too. And I don't do anything too dramatic at the front, but the gray, like the faded brow, does show through a bit, so I just like to make sure that's warmed up, but nothing too drastic. Teddy. Some people like to do brows first before foundation, and others prefer this way. Whatever you like works. So just shading that in, I just need to make sure that they're matching. So just kind of checking from here across to here, here to here. So this one just needs a little bit more filled in. Microblading's great though, because it just saves so much time. And these ones are proportional, like for fee standards. So it just takes a lot of the guesswork out. Been thinking about doing a video of like actually covering up my brows and showing you how to draw them in without, so I think that would be really fun. Just gonna go in the spoolie and just gently brush things out. Had a bit of a pulling episode with my brows. So I don't have a lot going on in the front here, but the tails are doing pretty good. So hopefully in the new year, I might be able to figure something out, but I don't know. I just feel like it's been a hard year for everybody. So I find that anyone with trichotillomania, or any compulsion, body repetitive disorder, it's definitely seen an increase this year, and there's others that have overcome it. So 45 minutes, wow. I swear I'm gonna wrap this up soon. Okay, so one of the tricks that I've been doing and loving, this is the e.l.f. eyeliner pen in black. And I haven't worn black in so long, but it was Jaclyn Hill who was talking about using, I love brown eyeliner, but using a little bit of black can marry the tones together a lot more nicely. And I've been using this on my brows as well. I find that brow lamination, like what that looks like, is kind of like a good guideline about what to do. And I've only been doing this on the top. I was doing it at the bottom for a bit, but I never really liked the effect. But when I've been doing it on the top, it really looks nice. So just gonna go in with a very light hand. It's a really nice tip on this, so it makes it easy. So just bringing that out just along the top. A lot of these times we don't even have to do this much work to our brows, but I don't know. It's kind of more so for ourselves than anybody else. I feel better when I look up close in the mirror and the details are as I like them, not necessarily what others would think, and well, much of people are seeing it these days anyways. COVID and all. So just kind of creating some texture at the top. This is actually a little bit more soft than it usually is, so just trying to work with that. What I like to do with the black, it just creates more dimension in the brows when you have two tones, which I really like since I don't really have brows. And I'm blending out towards the bottom, but I'm not going right to the bottom. These aren't my best brows. Yesterday they were really nice, but that's okay. Actually, they're not that bad. So this is a little bit flat right here, so I'm just gonna bring that up a touch. Maybe a bit too much. Okay. And another trick. So this is a trick that I found this year. Nude eyeliner. So this is much nicer in the waterline than white, I find, just because it looks more natural and still gives the wide-eyed effect. But what I've also been doing is using it underneath my brows and on my Cupid's bow, and around my lips instead of concealer when trying to perfect lipstick. So using the mirror again. I just find it's a lot less messy dealing with this than concealer and trying to get the right consistency with the right brush. And just gives that little pop. Okay, just gonna wipe that. Probably should have started with my eyes first, but that's okay. Putting that on the waterline. See, Yeah, I'm not gonna do dramatic eye. It's gonna make it look like me. Sorry guys, I feel like I let you down. But I'm just trying to think of time here. It's definitely my longest video so far. But so I'm just creating a highlight right here. So this should match your skin tone. Doesn't have to be this one that I'm using here. Just whatever matches you. This is an eyeliner by Annabelle in beige. All right, so I'm gonna add some liquid liner and lashes now. I'm just gonna use a kohl pencil. So everybody's eyelids are different. So to make a really nice cat eye, I just follow, so I've already created that eyelid. So I just put a little bit of shadow right there. So this is like lighter here, darker on the inside and on the outside here. So just following the shape of my eyelid. Everyone's is different. And it's easier actually if you do this with your eyes open, which Jamie French taught me. Combination of open and closed, but to find like the perfect contour, keeping your eye open. There's always one that turns out nicer than the other. I smeared one eye so bad yesterday. It was probably like the best cat liner I've ever did. And then I screwed the other one right up by accidentally touching it. Okay, just gonna blend that out a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna add a little bit underneath the eye here. So just going in with an angled brush and just sweeping that over the kohl liner. So it's just a nice diffuse soft look. It's been definitely a more popular go-to this year. So as you can see, I've been spending 53 minutes on my face and it doesn't really look like I'm wearing anything, but I think for the most part it looks pretty natural. So I'm just gonna apply some lashes. So as you know, my favorite lashes are by Deluxe Lab. I'm just gonna go grab them. Oh yeah, down we go. The blush actually didn't break, so that's pretty impressive. So this is a new pair from Deluxe Lab. Actually, it's not a new set, but I just haven't worn them yet, so I thought I'd wear them today. These are the ones in Lust. So super pretty. I'm not gonna get too much into describing how to put them on because I do have a video of that if you'd like to refer to that. Might need to grab my scissors. One sec. Got them. So cutting from the inner. I need to replace my velour lash for sure. Make sure that you close this because it gets really gross really fast. And that's been me trying to clean it as well. But it's still the best glue that I've ever used. And for those that do have lashes, unlike myself, just make sure that when you're putting the glue on and applying it to your lash line, you're placing it right on your lashes, not on the skin above. So since these are new lashes, flexing them out. Yeah, amazing as always, Julia. Love them. We're almost done, guys. After this, I'm gonna put on a lip. I'm all set for 2021. One of the best videos I released this year was the one for trichotillomania. I've reached out, or no, sorry, others have reached out to me, whether it be publicly or privately, and that's a video I've been wanting to do for 15 years. So that was one of the biggest highlights of 2020, guys. Thank you so much. Definitely gonna have some more stuff for you coming up. Just now that I have that business plan done, like the rough draft, I just feel a lot better and have the capacity to do other creative things. One of the hardest parts of this year was losing people. My ex-boyfriend, Carl, who loved very much, he passed away in April, so that's been really, really hard. It's definitely the closest person to me that I've ever lost, and it was natural causes too. He had an asthma attack and didn't have his puffer, so really sad. It wasn't COVID or related to anything else, so it just really threw everybody off, and he was doing really well. And then I've lost other friends to addiction, which has been awful. I don't wish that upon anybody. I'm really proud of the people that have reached out to me and said that they're doing recovery. And some get frustrated because they feel like they're doing it multiple times, but I'm just happy that you're trying, that you are alive, because it's a really scary world that we live in with all these substances that are pushed at us at a young age, especially in like smaller communities. So growing up with it, you don't really know any different, and that it may not be the norm, but a lot struggle as a result. I don't wish it upon anybody. I find that this year with my recovery, it hasn't been like a huge, I don't know, I haven't thought about it that much, to be honest. I've done some wonderful work with my sponsor, and she's really opened my eyes with many different things in my past that I always thought were other people's fault, but it's been really helpful for me to see my part, which I never realized, and the things that were my fault, and identifying what wasn't my fault. So there's been a lot of healing this year, and making amends and things like that. I've done the steps before, but doing them again, it's been really helpful. Definitely what I need to do in the new year is be a better friend. I'm really happy that I got diagnosed earlier this year with having ADHD and PTSD, because it's been really helpful with recognizing how I interact or don't interact with the world, and explains a lot of old patterns and things that never made sense to me or others. But going to treatment a second time around, I haven't bounced back the same. I really shut down when I'm stressed out, and it worries a lot of people. But I'll do my best to make it up to them, and it's all I can do. I'm never gonna be perfect, but I'm trying, and I've come leaps and bounds. Yeah, so sorry that I didn't do the dramatic look that I was hoping to do, but I had a lot of fun doing it. It's been a full hour, so hopefully you enjoyed this process as much as I did. It was just nice to chit chat, feel a little bit more relaxed now, which is nice, and I'm really excited for what the new year has to bring. And to everyone that's been asking, my necklace says, be a good bitch. It's a mantra that some girlfriends and I made up last year when we were in treatment together, and I made a necklace of it. So I just decided to start wearing it again. And so thanks everyone for your compliments. Thank you for watching. I might add more to this later, but this video's been long enough. But again, it was really fun. Hope you have a great day, and stay tuned for some new videos. I love you. Take care and brush your hair. I need to brush mine. Bye.